Hey everyone, Mike Clark here with Heidi Don, who's an estate plan attorney here in the Belleville, O'Fallon area. And just wanted to talk to you a little bit about estate planning in general. So thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Morning.
So first off, I'd love to ask everyone, why did you become an attorney?
Yeah, it's a great question. So I knew early on that I wanted to practice law. Oddly enough, or not practice law when I was in high school, but I knew early on I really liked helping people, and I liked the idea of being an attorney. So I, out of high school, and when I was in high school, found a job at a law firm and worked as a file clerk and kind of cut my teeth. And then that really was the trajectory of my path onto getting my education and going to law school. I think the favorite part of my job is helping people day to day navigate through, an issue that's cropped up in their life, and just get through a season of their life. And estate planning is definitely a season that all of us need to address it.
Yeah.
And it comes up at some season in our life, but it's not something we have to address every single day in our world. We get it done, we get it taken care of, we tuck it away, and we know we're in good shape. So yeah, I love being an attorney. I love helping people.
Yeah, very good, very good. So a couple questions. First is, where are you located?
All right, so currently we're in Belleville, and we have a Mascoutah satellite office. We are kind of consolidating. Our firm has, the face of the firm has changed over the last year, and so we are kind of consolidating and moving towards the O'Fallon. So by the end of the year, we'll be, our offices will be in O'Fallon.
Very cool. Excited. You're going to be right down the road.
Yes.
That's
yes.
awesome. So how long have you been practicing law?
I've been practicing 19 years.
19 years, so almost 20.
Yep, almost
Yeah,
20.
cool. And your staff, how many people are on your staff?
Currently there's 5 of us in the office, so I have 2 paralegals and an office manager, myself, and we've got a part-time paralegal.
Cool. So every time I see them, they're smiling, so you must be doing something right.
We're an all-female firm. We're super proud of that. So
that's awesome.
It's unique, but it works.
Cool. So an overarching question is, what is estate planning?
Okay. Estate planning, in my perspective, is really helping get your affairs in order for those days that cross our paths that we need assistance with either making medical decisions, financial decisions, and also end of life. So estate planning is looking at getting powers of attorney in place, but also a last will and testament at a minimum. So when I say to people, oh great, you're here to work on your estate plan, they say, no, I just need a will. And that's really what that is. Estate planning is powers of attorney for medical, financial, and the last will and testament at a minimum.
Yeah, and I think it's important. A lot of time with clients, whenever they think of estate planning, they typically only think of when they die. Can you talk a little bit about healthcare power of attorney or healthcare directive, and what exactly those things are?
Sure. So a healthcare power of attorney is really an advance directive. In advance, we are signing a document that says, I appoint my spouse typically, and then perhaps some adult children, I appoint these individuals to make medical decisions for me in the event I'm not able to make those decisions for myself, such as, there's an accident, there's a crisis, there's a tragedy, or I always use the general, you're both in a car accident, who's gonna make decisions if both you and your spouse are in a car accident together, and you have minor children? Well, obviously you wanna think through those. But really, it's an advance directive that also says, I'm appointing this individual to make these decisions if I can't, and here's how I want my end of life handled, God forbid, my family is faced with those decisions. So it covers organ donation, and it covers end of life. Do you want to be held on life support indefinitely? 99% of my clients say no, because most of us don't want that situation for ourselves or our family. Or the choice that most people choose is, if I'm in a position irreversible, and that there's no hope, not hope, but it's really just keep me comfortable, take reasonable measures, and then kind of go from there. So that's really what a healthcare power of attorney is. It's an advance directive. This is the person I want to handle my affairs, and this is how I want my end of life handled at the end of the day. Yeah.
So another power of attorney that is probably obvious to many, but if you wouldn't mind, what is a financial power of attorney?
Right, so financials really, Illinois has an Illinois statutory property power of attorney, and most people think of it as a document, again, an advance document, advance directive. I trust this individual to make these decisions financially or regarding my real estate and my property. And that's probably the one that you see most often as a financial advisor, in such that you appoint typically your spouse and then somebody you trust as a backup. There's always good to, I really encourage my clients not just have the first individual or agent name, but to try to have a second, because you just, life happens, you never know. And so financial or property power of attorney, it gives this individual the ability to talk to, I always say this is if your spouse, God forbid, has a stroke or can no longer handle or pay their bills. Most of the time they're joint on those accounts, but we're not joint on IRAs. We're not joint on 401ks. And sometimes, loved ones have to access those funds to pay for care. So I think it's important that you pick that person in advance, and it's somebody you trust, but they can also sell real estate on your behalf. Most of the time powers of attorney don't come into play until you need care or your loved one has had some sort of medical event that enables them from they're no longer able to handle their personal affairs and pay their bills.
Yeah, for sure. So one thing I want to remind everyone is that Heidi and myself, we don't know anything about you. Nothing that she's discussed today or I've mentioned should be thought of as a recommendation of any kind for you. If you have any questions about estate planning in any way, shape, or form, please reach out to Heidi. We're going to give a link and her phone number along with this content. So thanks.